Vambora?
Are we prepared to lay siege?
There's no reason to. You won't have another.
Vambora.
I'm ready.
Glad to hear it. We're going to attack on two fronts. The North Gate and the West Wall, which will scale with
Se o
ladders.
jogo crashar nessa guerra, vai ser a terceira guerra que ele vai crashar e eu vou ter que rejogar tudo.
Taking the outer walls, the inner bailey, and finally the core of the castle and the tower.
How are we going to attack the gate?
We'll try to do as much damage as we can with the trebuchet first. Keezer claims he can even hit it directly. Even if that's true, we'll have to charge through a downpour of enemy arrows all the way to the portcullis.
Portcullis?
Fortunately, it's wooden, so we'll be able to break it down. But dealing with the defense in the bailey won't be easy.
And what's the plan for attacking the west wall?
First, we have to get men to the wall with ladders, which is no easy matter under fire, so we'll need as many men covering them as possible. As soon as the ladders are in place, our foot soldiers will run up and try to scale the wall. Once a few of them get to the battlements,
Se eu fosse apostar, o Hades é que vai morrer, hein? E a mulher não.
How will we take the battlements?
either by scaling the west wall, or our men at the gate will help. If they can break through, that is.
And the inner bailey?
That will be tough. Even if we get through the gate and into the outer bailey, we're still a long way from victory. The castle is designed so we'll be like hens in a coop to anyone with a bow on the inner battlements. We'll have to either fight our way through, or somehow get around them.
What about the living quarters?
There, I'm worried most about the hostages. Once we're inside, Istvan will know defeat is inevitable, but we'll still have to fight for each and every room.
I think I've heard everything I need to know.
Do you want to join the attack on the walls or on the gate? Remember, many of the Skalitz men will follow you. It could make a big difference.
I'll help with the attack on the walls.
Eu ia falar
I'm
mesmo.
proud of you, Henry. You've changed from an insolent pup into a tough, reliable fighter. And as God is my witness, we will kick those whore sons' arses.
A village lad and an old soldier? Istvan must be shaking in his boots.
If he's not shaking, then he doesn't know what he's got coming. Just one last thing, though. No matter how good the plan is, something always gets fucked up. Keep your eyes open and take advantage of every chance. Help your comrades and don't go rushing in where you're outnumbered. We have to take the castle gradually, one position after another.
I'll remember that.
Good luck to you, stripling.
Good luck to you, old soldier.
Good luck, then.
Vambora. Essa é a missão final do jogo, né? Talvez. Existe a chance de ter muita coisa ainda, velho. Não sei. Não sei o que esse jogo me planeja. Eu tenho que ser o primeiro? Vamos lá, galera, sobe aí. Batalha do Bernard.
Smash them! Clear those battlements!
Vamos pra cá mesmo. Dá a volta nos flecheiros.
Smash them! Clear those battlements!
Ah, mano, na moral, focou no cara lá da frente, velho. Já foi, vambora.
We've got them! And now from the south! We'll charge them from the rear!
Mano, essa escada aqui tá me prendendo, velho. Que raiva. Quero a escada, senão não dou conta de ajudar, não. Só nós dois, Bernard. Morreu o resto tudo. Mano, na moral, velho. Eu acho que já fudeu, hein? Nossa, minha câmera tá bugada, hein? Não consigo olhar pro lado sem tremer, ué. Entre agilidade, defesa, força, vitalidade, caramba.
Sir, we should give the order.
Let's see if Istvan Toth can worm his way out of this one.
Don't tempt fate, Hanish.
Istvan! It's over! You want us to come and get you?
I wouldn't advise that. Your friend Divish wants to see his wife alive again.
And Sir Radzik? Are both hostages unharmed?
For now, Hanush, unless circumstances change.
I'm glad to hear it. My guest is also safe and sound, but he's also quite keen to go home. I imagine you feel the same way. It's been a long time since you warmed yourself at your own hearth.
I'm in no hurry. I've plenty of supplies here, grand view and excellent company. What more could I want?
Your freedom!
Freedom? Freedom to get an arrow in the back?
Sir, We're all noblemen here, all bound by honor. I give you my word as a knight and lord, and that of my companions. If you release Lady Stephanie and Sir Radzig, you may leave the castle with your men and go on your way unharmed.
And just how far will we get? What good will it do me if your men attack us in the woods instead of here?
If you give me your word of honor that you will leave and never return, I promise you safe passage to the boundary of this fiefdom. What happens after that is up to you and the will of God Almighty.
Very well then, but I want a small safeguard. I'll give you her ladyship, but Radzig comes with me. I'll release him in Skalitz.
Out of the question! Is our word not good enough for you?
Is mine not good enough for you? I swear I'll release him when I get to a safe distance.
I'll go with him, Hanush. Let the Lady Stephanie have her freedom now.
Father!
Don't worry, son. I trust Lord Toth's self-interest more than his word. He wouldn't be fool enough to harm me.
If you're certain, Radzig.
Prepare horses and supplies, and tell your men to pull back. We'll come down.
You heard him. Get to work. And any man who breaks this truce answers to me.
So, are you really going to let them go?
My word is my bond, Henry.
He's a cutthroat and a liar. Good men are dead because of him. What's to stop us from skewering him as soon as he sets foot outside?
Our honor.
If you let him go, he'll do the same again. Or worse.
God's justice will find him. And then he'll get a taste of my mace.
If we break our word of honor, we have none. And without honor, we are nothing. Never fear. Your father will be all right.
We'll hunt down those vermin yet.
Bring the horses.
Here she is, as I promised. Not a hair on her head harmed.
Divish.
Stephanie.
Forgive me, husband. I'm sorry
For what?
for letting them into the castle.
Come now, my dear. You're not to blame.
I didn't know who he was. He said he was your friend.
Never mind. Did he hurt you?
No.
I hope your word can be trusted.
Certainly more than yours.
If everything goes as agreed, I'll set Radzig free in Skalitz. If anyone tries to follow us, I'll kill him.
We won't.
My apologies for keeping you from your father, but you'll see each other soon enough. Oh, I almost forgot. Your sword. I expect you'll want it back after all the trouble you went to. Actually, you know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you.
I look forward to it. Yeah!
Vou ter que matar ele no 2, mano. Você tá brincando.
Quick! To the battlements! We have to see which way they go! Oh, they really are heading for Skalitz. Mount up, Henry. You've heard what he'll do if we follow them. We're not going to follow them. We just have to collect your father. Or do you want him to walk back here when they release him?
Yeah.
Ele vai estar morto. Vai matar meu pai.
What should I say to him?
Don't worry, it'll come to you. You'll see.
Well, we just hope he'll be there. Alive.
É matar meu pai. 100%, velho.
This is quite a turnaround, isn't it?
What do you mean?
How long have we known each other? A few weeks?
Pois é, esse cara aqui, ele era insuportável quando começou o jogo. Agora eu gosto dele.
Chasing wenches around Rattay and you were digging turnips. And now look at us. A pair of veterans.
I was an apprentice blacksmith, not a turnip digger.
Same difference, you silly bugger.
Quão longe de escala você tá, mano? Puta que pariu, mas nessa velocidade aqui não chega em escala mais nunca na vida, velho.
What do you think? Toth keep his word?
Yeah. He's a noble, right?
Yes. So am I.
Sir Radzig will be there. What will you do now?
Not long ago, I only made plans.
Mano, onde que você travou, meu filho?
Comendo enrolado num rato.
Calma. Nob Goblin. Obrigadão aí pelo follow, seja muito bem-vindo.
Well, what I mean is, hats off to you now. You wouldn't catch me doing that.
Truth is, I didn't think much about it. I just felt I had to do it.
Ah tá, obrigado.
There's no sign of them. Move on.
There!
I'm glad to see Istvan kept his word, sir.
Not half as glad as I am, Your Grace.
Well, we kept our word too. And now Toth has had his head start and he's fair game. Which way do they go?
To the north, but I would be careful, Sir Hans.
Fear not, Your Grace. I have twice as many men as he. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure the two of you have a lot to say to each other. Let's go!
Nossa, se o Hans morrer, eu vou ficar triste.
You all right, Father?
I am. They treated me quite decently. Although they did steal my horse, so I'll have to go back on foot.
It looks like it's all over.
Not by a long shot. It won't be over until we get this mess cleared up.
And catch that bastard. How could we let him go?
Would you rather we killed him? Even if it meant Lady Stephanie and I died too?
No, of course not. But what was to stop us from killing him after the exchange?
Honor?
Honor?
If the word of honor of a nobleman could not be trusted, then he would never have agreed to the exchange.
And where's the honor in abandoning your son?
You know how it is. We were young. It happened. And I couldn't marry a commoner. Then your father, Martin, came along and took care of both of you.
Well, he knew it.
What? That I was your father? Certainly. He was a great man. He took you as his own. And always kept an eye on you. Of that you can be sure.
I know so little about his past.
He told you nothing? Oddly enough, even though you don't have his blood, you're very like him. When he was around your age, he became bored of his trade and set out to see the world. He lived through many adventures, even fought in a war.
In a war?
Yes, in Poland, I believe. And I don't think he cared much for it.
That's why he wanted me to stay at home.
He spent some time in Prague, then settled in Kuttenberg. But it seems he quarreled with someone there and finally ended up here. You know the rest.
I loved him, but even so, I somehow always had a feeling I didn't quite fit in.
It was in your blood, I suppose.
I lost the one thing I had left from him. Your sword.
Ah. The sword. It's not my sword. It's yours. For a moment there, it was so near, yet so far. Oh, well, it can't be helped.
It was almost within my grasp, but just then I had something else on my mind.
Well, I think we may yet have a chance to get it back. This business with Toth is not yet over, unfortunately.
That's a chance I'd welcome. Not just to get the sword, but that bastard Istvan too. And then I'll find that German whoreson who torched Skalitz, and I'll slay him with it. I'll never forget his face. Or his name. Markwart von Aulitz.
Those are noble intentions, son. But don't forget there are other things in this world that are worth living for.
Like what?
Look around you. Blue skies overhead, green grass underfoot, beautiful girls. Good wine, a few good friends, and a fine steed under your backside. Those are things worth living for. Though I can't deny that swine who killed your mother must pay for what he did. But it's better not to dwell too much on that at the cost of those other things. On the subject of steeds, I think we'll have to ride like the Knights Templar.
How's that?
2 up. One day I'll tell you how they got
Mataram
their
meu pai. Meu pai ficou vivo.
You can take the front. It's like I always imagined it would be, teaching my boy to ride. Although it would be better if you were a little smaller. My word, it's all go today, isn't it? I wonder who this is.
I think I know. It's Margrave Jobst.
The king's cousin? I wonder what he wants. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Vamos. No segundo jogo que vai lançar em breve aí. Sabia que tinha acabado, velho. Ainda não vai saber. Caralho, mano, que jogo bom, velho. Eu esperava que ele fosse bom, mas não tão bom quanto ele é. Nossa senhora. Assim, o combate do jogo é muito difícil. Muito difícil. Mas a imersão no jogo, velho, a história do jogo, o mundo, as side quests, é muito da hora, velho. O epílogo ainda, calma, beleza. Mas né, tem que dar minhas considerações finais aqui do jogo. Cara, muito bom, velho. Nossa, que trilha sonora ruim, pelo amor de Deus. O jogo é bom demais, nossa. Johanka? Sim, meu senhor, eu tenho.
You're doing well, son.
Father.
Come now. You know who sired you.
That doesn't matter now. I miss you, Amar. I miss you very much.
You'll be fine. We're proud of you.
For what? I let you down. I lost the sword. I let that bastard get away.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Mano, cadê a legenda?
Nothing you could have done to save us.
Tinha nada que pudesse fazer pra salvar a
Someone
gente.
has to live and carry the torch. As for the sword, it's just a thing.
Ah, parece só uma coisa. Ele também tinha que sobreviver e levar, carregar a tocha, sei lá. É o legado, né?
Now look at me.
Standing up to evil isn't the same as sowing its seeds. He did what was right.
Fez o certo porque ele se opôs ao mal, né? Oh, por que não tá mostrando isso? Tá mostrando a legenda de outra coisa, velho. A legenda tá errada. A legenda tá errada, velho. Puta que pariu, hein. A legenda tá mostrando outra coisa, outra conversa. Eu tenho que ir embora, sabia? Você sabe, né? Por favor. Você sabe que eu não posso ficar. Aí um abração, ó.
Will I ever see you again?
Nunca mais vou ver você. Eu não ouvi o que ele falou.
Make her proud.
Mano, a legenda, velho. Vai se fuder dessa legenda no final, mano. Vai tomar no cu.
Don't go. No.
Tirou uma imersão gamer.
What are you dreaming about? I couldn't wake you, and it's well past dawn. Sir Radzig wants you at the upper castle. The lords are in council with Jobst.
Ah, é o Sr. Radzig que tá me chamando no castelo, lá na parte de cima do castelo. Tá os lords lá tudo, tá? Foi isso que ele disse. Cheio de graça, tá rezando, mano.
It's just... I don't know how to address you anymore.
Não sei como te chamar.
All of a sudden you're Sir Radzig's son, hobnobbing with lords and ladies. And here's me, as common as muck.
Oh, give over, you idiot.
Ele não sabe como é que chamar, porque ele não sabe... Ele tá achando que eu sou um lord, né?
Not really. You're as much a lord as I am a nun. And I've never looked good in a habit.
Get out of here.
Ele falou que eu sou tão lorde quanto ele é uma freira. Foi bom, né? Boa piada, parabéns. Cara, na moral, velho, vou ter que ficar traduzindo essa caralho, velho. Fudei. A gente não acabou o jogo. Eu tenho que ir lá no Upper Castle. Vem aqui. Nossa, mas é longe pra dar com pau, vamos dar TP.
Oh, Hal. Are you going to the meeting with Margrave Jobst as well?
I am. What about Istvan?
Minha roupa tá fudida, velho.
Assume
that we didn't catch him? No. Because if we had, you'd be the first one to know. Have no fear. We'll get him eventually.
I hope you're right. Anyway, let's go and see what Jobst wants from us.
Agora vai saber o que o Jobst queria.
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
Agora voltou a legenda, graças a
Lord
Deus.
Capon.
And this is my son, Henry.
I didn't know you had a son, Sir Radzig.
It came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
This gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
Come join us. Margrave Jobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace?
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
Question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny, and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur. That King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed, but to surrender it means giving up great privileges too.
But he did surrender power to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to Sigismund for help in restoring order.
What, you're saying Wenceslas invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him. Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so would I must admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation. But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobst, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
So he abducted him and your brother Prokop too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, your graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. The worst of it is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make do with his idleness.
People like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Bergholf, Heinrich von Rosenberg.
The situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So now Bergholf is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now. Such affairs may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses. I have negotiated an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund. Every day he is losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
What kind of help, though? Sigismund has a massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghof, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund in Hungary, partly due to my efforts, and now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghof know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
We are men of little consequence, Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, Your Grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your arms folded till the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war!
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Bergov at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
True. Though a little risky.
I doubt Bergov would harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
Why not? He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Gutenberg to be my eyes and ears.
Gente, esse EP é
I
grande.
believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft a letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back here.
Achei que era a última coisa.
I expect it would be best to write it in your name as Lord of Life.
So, what do you think of Margrave Jobst?
Right.
What isn't really the issue? The question is how. We need to learn.
So, it looks like you're off on a mission.
Yes, I can't wait.
I don't want to dampen your spirits, my boy, but watch out. These are evil times, and who knows what can happen along the way. Not to mention that Bergov is no saint.
Don't worry.
I know. You've shown you can fend for yourself, but do take care. You'll be traveling as Lord Capon's bodyguard. You'll be there to make sure nothing untoward happens to him. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears wide open. What Bergov tells you is one thing, but what you see may be quite another.
Rest assured, Father.
And don't get embroiled in anything else. Just hand over the letter, hear out his reply, and return.
Yes.
Very well. Bergov is at Trotsky Castle. I think you'll find it quite an eye-opener. It's one of the finest castles in the land. It's 3 days' ride from here, so unless you hit a snag along the way, you'll be back soon enough. Any questions?
I'm getting a bit lost in the Luxembourg lineage. It all seems a bit too tangled.
The Luxembourgs have ruled the Empire and Bohemia for almost 100 years now. Emperor Charles brought this land to prominence. When he was in power, things had never been so good. Wenceslas and Sigismund are his sons, but by different mothers. Jobst and Prokop are their cousins. They were entrusted with governing Moravia. But instead, they've been in a bitter armed feud for years, and now Sigismund's fallen out with Wenceslas. Wenceslas also had another brother, the youngest, John of Görlitz, who was most probably poisoned. They seem like a hot-blooded lot. It's hard to keep up with their affairs, since they tend to change their alliances from one day to the next.
Who is he really, this Jobst?
The cousin of King Wenceslas. He's the Margrave of Moravia. I admit I don't know what to make of him myself. Until recently, he was allied with the League of Lords. For a time, he even served Rupert of the Palatinate against the king. And now suddenly, he's reversed his position. I don't know what led him to do it, and one can't help being suspicious. It's best to keep a watchful eye on him. But he really is the leader of the resistance against Sigismund these days. We'll just have to see how it all turns out.
I'm a bit concerned so many people seem to think so little of King Wenceslas. You knew him, didn't you? What's he really like?
Well, there's no straightforward answer to that question. He certainly makes a great hunting and drinking companion, but he can be very fiery and impetuous when things don't go how he'd like them. He never had much of a head for high office. He finds it tiresome. But once a man's grasped the scepter, it's hard to let it go again. You can't just abscond. You've seen for yourself what happens when he disappears for a few months.
better a bad but legitimate king than a bloody war over the throne.
Who is this Prokop that Job spoke of?
Jobst's brother, the king's cousin. He and Jobst warred over Moravian supremacy for years. Then they were allies for a while, betrayed Wenceslas and sided with Rupert of the Palatinate. But after Sigismund abducted Wenceslas, Prokop fomented a revolt against him, and Sigismund had him captured. Politics. Make of it what you will. I, for one, can't make head or tail of it most of the time.
Muita coisa
The
pra
League of
começar.
Lords and that Berghoff we're off to see. Who are they exactly?
The lords of the powerful houses. Heinrich of Rosenberg, Otto of Berghoff, Heinrich of Radetz, and others. They're unhappy with the way their influence declined after Wenceslas surrounded himself with the lesser orders of nobility. They abducted the king years ago and made him bow to their will. They got away with it that time, and now they've joined forces with Sigismund and done it again. But now it seems that Sigismund's behavior is starting to rub them up the wrong way, so they may well be thinking twice. We'll see what Berghoff has to say.
I don't know all that much about Sigismund.
He's the king's younger brother and king of Hungary in his own right. 7 years ago, he led a crusade against the Turks and was defeated at Nicopolis. Some say it was due to the recklessness of the French knights, most of whom were mercilessly slaughtered. Sigismund is ambitious and capable. He might well make a better ruler than Wenceslas, but he's arrogant, and to our misfortune, brutal. Not long ago, he himself was held captive by the Hungarian nobility. They dislike him as much as some of the Czech and German noblemen do his brother Wenceslas. Ironically, Wenceslas joined forces with Jobst to liberate him. And now this is how Sigismund repays his brother. There's no doubt about it, God does move in mysterious ways.
Rupert of the Palatinate. That's a name I hadn't heard before today.
Rupert is the Prince-Elector of the Palatinate.
What's a Prince-Elector?
The Prince-Electors are dignitaries of the Holy Roman Empire who have the right to elect the King of the Romans, who would then be crowned Holy Roman Emperor by the Pope. Rupert took the title for himself with the help of 3 other Prince-Electors, even though Wenceslas had already been appointed. Some of the nobility in the empire recognized Rupert's claim, but when he went to Rome to be crowned emperor, it turned into a fiasco. Now he's doing his utmost to get Wenceslas to acknowledge him, but so far without success. So, now we have 2 kings of the Romans. Jobst sided with Sigismund for a while, but now he's switched allegiance. He seems to do that quite a lot.
That young man, Sir John of Liechtenstein. Why is he here?
The Liechtensteins are a powerful Austrian family with estates in Austria and Moravia. Sir John sits on Jobst's council. Since the king's being held captive in Vienna, I suppose it makes sense to have a powerful Austrian house as allies. It could be very useful.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter from Sir Hanush. And good luck, son.
É pra cá.
I think I don't know what
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but Slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians, quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Gutenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
My lords, how's the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come, Henry, my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
Come now, Hal.
Parabéns, você completou a história principal. Se você quiser, pode completar as missões secundárias e atividades. Ou simplesmente viajar pelo mundo. Você pode terminar o jogo a qualquer momento, cavalgando para fora do mapa com o pelotão do Sir Hans Capon. Aí vai acabar mesmo. Abre pra nós.
Hey!
É. Ah, vou ser bem sincero, viu? Será que tem alguma coisa que eu queira fazer? Acho que não, né? Tá esperando o que, ô caralho?
So, can we set off now, Henry?
Of course. I can't wait.
So, to horse! The Lord of Berghoff is bound to be waiting us eagerly.
Dá um maior empurrão no cavalo do cara. Deixa.
So, how is life in the high-born bastard?
I'm getting used to it.
What about Rudsey? Has he accounted for not owning up to you the whole time?
He explained it. All will be well, I think.
Glad to hear it. It's far more acceptable for a nobleman to befriend a noble bastard than a blacksmith's son.
Mind you, don't come to blows with a blacksmith, my young lord. What do you think about Sir Yobst and his plan?
Well, I admit all the scheming has me a little lost. I thought Sigismund was the devil, Wenceslas a martyr, those on his side the heroes, and those against him the villains. I believed we'd rescue the king and all would be well again, but now it looks a lot more complicated.
Exactly. I didn't expect the noble lords to be as noble as the angels, but I hadn't expected such a sewer. They behave like children.
I can't fathom how after all this backstabbing they're somehow still on speaking terms.
I don't know either. Beggars belief. Did you know that King Wenceslas is such a...
Feckless drunkard? Not really. And to be honest, I'm not sure I wanted to know. I slept better believing my fate was watched over by a wise and powerful monarch.
So did I.
What a dismal world when you can't keep trust in your own king.
On the other hand, times were better with him here than with him gone.
Isn't that the truth?
Vou acelerar ele.
What do you think of Sigismund?
If I were him, I'd have had enough of my brother even sooner.
But he's a monster. Look at what those hordes of his are getting up to here. What he did in Skalitz.
True enough.
Passa
On
na
the
frente.
other hand, if Wenceslas and Prokop hadn't double-crossed him, none of this would have happened.
No one forced him to burn Skalitz.
That's a fact. But he couldn't let him shit all over him either. Not that I'm defending him.
He's a weasel.
No doubt about that.
Vai acabar antes da gente chegar lá. Vai começar de lá.
Sir Hanush could tell you a thing or two about him.
Why?
Last winter, a certain Sir Jan Sokol of Lamberg, a well-known knight, or robber baron to some, tried to occupy the city of Iglau, which was on the orders of none other than Prokop.
And what has that got to do with Hanush?
Well, he was there with him. Of course, that's not something to brag about in front of Yost.
And what was it all about?
They wanted to occupy a city that was on the side of the League of Lords, but despite there being several hundred strong, they didn't take it. For one thing, they couldn't get past the Iglau women, with their pitchforks and cauldrons of hot water.
I would never have thought of Sir Hanush as such a rebel.
Zerou?
And have you heard anything
Sim.
about Rupert of the Palatinate?
Aqui é o epílogo só.
He can't manage even to wrest power from a king who doesn't much care for ruling and isn't fighting back. That doesn't seem like a man who has what it takes to rule. And that's all I need to know.
And that Berghoff we're going to see, do you know anything about him?
I haven't heard much good about him, but I have a feeling that some other nobles are quite in awe of him. And his castle is apparently quite impressive.
E aí, mocinho, como é que você tá, ué? Todo lurk aí, strike. Boa live, valeuzão, mano. Hoje você não tem live, não, mano? Acabando o jogo aqui.
And what about the League of Lords?
Wealthy, pompous. The king doesn't seem to like them much. He's chosen to let the lesser ranks of the nobility
Hoje não.
into his circle.
Dia de
Men like his
descanso.
father. I admit I don't blame him one bit. But the lords weren't happy.
Ah, é, né? Eu tinha visto você falar. Oh, onde eu tava lá na sua live, aí depois. Só que eu tava trabalhando, né? Eu tava só de lurk. Aí teve algum momento que você mandou uma raid lá. E aí eu fui pra live do outro cara lá, que tem o nome do cara. Mas assim, eu não vi o chat. O chat deu certo? Ou você nem tentou ainda? Não cheguei a ver o chat. Depois eu tô com isso. Ah, ainda não? Ah, tá. Qualquer coisa, se der errado lá, você me fala, tá? Se der alguma coisa errada, você me fala que eu tento resolver aqui. O cavalo tá mó rápido, só. Tá acabando, relaxa. Só chegar ali, eu não sei onde que eu tô indo, calma, deve estar chegando no final do mapa. Ah, eu vou até chegar no final do mapa ali, a hora que eu chegar no final do mapa, acabou o jogo. Viaja ver o povo roxo é foda, velho. Coroas apenas? Tá, calma, deixa eu pegar minha coroinha aqui. Coroinha aqui. Pronto. Vambora. O cavalo é muito mais rápido que esse aqui, mas assim, não corre. O cara não quer correr, o cara quer trotar. Boa, boa. Isso sim dá medo aqui. A coroinha, mano. A coroinha tá te dando medo, Octavio? Como é assim, velho? Cara. Assim, mas no geral, o jogo é muito bom. Muito, muito bom. Eu achei que ele seria bom. Mas eu não achei que ele seria tão bom. Porque, tipo assim, saiu o anúncio dos jogos um tempo atrás. Ele saiu altura pra caramba. Aí saiu o do Kingdom Come 2, né? Aí eu falei assim, putz, vou jogar o 1, né? Aí eu abri Steam, tava de promoção. Eu paguei baratinho nesse jogo, ele tava um pouco mais de 10 reais. Não sei, não lembro quanto que era. E aí, falei assim, beleza, vou jogar. Aí eu enrolei. Aí eu peguei pra jogar. Eu achei que o jogo seria bom, mas não achei que seria tão bom. O problema desse jogo aqui é o combate, velho. O combate, assim, é muito difícil pra você acostumar. O arco e flecha do jogo é muito ruim, absurdamente ruim. Onde você mira não vai o tiro, mas tudo bem. Aí, fora isso, os personagens são muito bons. O mundo é muito bem feito. O jogo tem uma imersão foda. O mundo é muito bem construído, velho. Muito bem construído. E a dublagem do jogo é muito boa, velho. Bem um sotaquezinho medieval, da hora, velho. Tá assustado do rola leitura? Tem a ver com o pessoal, mano. Tem a ver com a galera. Onde você quer ir? Aqui?
Good gracious, it's Henry, champ.
Are you wishing you'd stayed home at Ratai instead of joining in our nighttime venture?
You must be joking. I haven't had so much fun since... actually ever.
Vou ver com a galera.
Really? Despite being wounded? Actually, you missed the best part. When I was hauling you like a sack of grain to the battlements, dead to the world.
Fechou, mano. Vai arrumando, hein.
Much fun if I fell asleep. But you might have
Quero até ver como é que o site tá. Faz um tempo que eu não entro.
black and blue all over.
Oh, alright then. Next time I'll just leave you to Istvan's tender mercies.
Nonsense. What would you do without me? Still, thank you for hauling me out of there.
Anything for you, my lord.
See you later.
Não, eu vou deixar. Tem que ter a experiência completa, né?
How about it, Henry?
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite.
Complete a história principal.
Let's
Foda.
get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!
Acabamos, gente. Acabamos. A sequência sai ano que vem, no início do ano. E aí nós vai ver como é que nós vai jogar, se nós vai jogar no lançamento ou se vai ter que esperar um pouquinho a questão do preço. E vamos ver, né? Não é pra continuar. Acabamos. Vamos, tem DLCs, mas putz, não vou jogar não, mano. Vou ficar assim mesmo, tá bom. Conseguimos terminar o jogo. Jogão, velho. Foi muito boa a experiência, gostei bastante. A gente pegou 24 das 82 conquistas, jogando na moral. Tinha conquista pra dar com pau, né? Tinha muita conquista que eu tinha que... eu tinha que passar 3 dias na prisão, fiquei nem preso. Complete a história da Teresa. Não completei a história da Teresa? Putz, não sabia, velho. Infelizmente foi já, agora já era. Essa ainda tem série, mate 200 pessoas, caralho. Não matei 200 pessoas. Segura a reconstrução de Fivislavis. Vença a corrida de cavalos de Taumberg. Nesta arena obtenha um conjunto completo de armaduras do torneio de Ratai. Ah, eu tinha que participar várias vezes, preguiça. Caça 50 animais. Isso aqui também é ruim, viu? Mas vamos ver aqui. Isso aí, gente. A experiência foi muito legal, velho. Gostei bastante do jogo. Vamos esperar o próximo jogo, ver como é que vai ser as coisas. Como é que não vai jogar, mas eu quero muito jogar, né? Eu gostei bastante do primeiro jogo. E estamos ansiosos pro segundo. A gente podia ver o trailer, né? A gente podia ver o trailer do segundo. Pra dar aquele grau. Eu vi o trailer e achei da hora pra caramba, velho. Essa bagunça como sempre. Agora o Brasil vai pra frente. Tem um Guilherme de raiz. Não sei nem quem é isso, mano. Porque não tem meu herói medieval. E agora? Agora sim. Vou comentar depois dos vídeos que não comentei ainda depois. Beleza. Beleza. Ó, deixa eu só arrumar aqui. Então, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 trailer. Tá, são 2 trailers que a gente tem. Na Steam tem trailer? Se tiver na Steam, eu já boto na Steam direto. Gente, vamos fazer o seguinte, vamos ver mesmo. Eu acho que tá no lugar certo, vamos ver. Vamos ver o trailer aqui, ó. Seguinte, gente, esse aqui é o segundo jogo. Já vamos deixar no grau aqui pro segundo jogo. Que no futuro jogaremos, tá? Vamos ver. O problema é que deve estar até em inglês, mano. Tem trailer legendado não, mano? Calma aí. Deixa eu ver se eu acho o trailer legendado. Eu acho que o do gameplay a gente não vai ter, viu? Infelizmente.
The best laid plans of men don't always come to fruition. Man proposes, but God disposes.
Essa legenda tá completamente atrasada.
And then boots you right in the balls.
Nossa, que qualidade de bosta, você tá brincando? Não, se tiver ruim de jeito mesmo. Ela tem 4K. Não, mas tá ruim, viu? Gente, calma aí, não. Vamos ver o negócio em inglês mesmo, que se foda. Quem não entende inglês aí, ó. Foda-se, tá? Tá muito ruim essa qualidade.
Peggy 18.
I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, and if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence.
Esse aí sou eu? Nossa, tomou bonitão, ó.
I intend to wage war, not parley.
Everything all right?
Hey? We need more people. The best thing would be to recruit from your old comrades.
Well, if they're not already swinging on the gallows somewhere.
Will you help us, Henry?
Caramba, tá bonito pra cacete, velho. Olha isso. Caralho, olha que trailer foda, mano.
I like that boy already.
Caralho, mano. Foda. Foda. Mas esse aqui é o gameplay, né? Eu não queria o gameplay, velho. Eu queria o trailer mesmo, calma aí. Eu acho que esse daqui, ó.
Peggy 18.
É esse que a gente tava vendo, ó.
I always dreamt of leaving this place. Becoming more than a peasant.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life? It can end before it gets started.
Congratulations, Sir Knight. You finally become a man.
Essa é a voz do cara lá que eu quero matar. O cara que tá com a minha espada. Esse aí foi o cara que matou meu pai. Eu também tenho que matar. Esse aí mesmo, ó.
To men like you and me.
You still have a long way to go till your work is done.
Cachorrinho. Cara, meu, que foda.
Be kind and protect us, so we don't blow our arses off. Amen.
Foda, né, chat? Foda pra caralho, mano. Vai se ferrar, velho. Eu quero muito jogar, velho. Ah, eu queria muito jogar, velho. Eu sou ferreiro. Nossa senhora, eu tô hypado pra esse jogo, velho. Depois de ter jogado esse aqui, eu tô muito hypado. Cova. Ah, tá. Fogarel, não. Ainda bem que ser gringo. Parabéns, né? O cara sabe gringo. Cavalinho. Cuidados medievais. Espero que agora tenha o Habsburgo. Pode esquecer isso, tá? Pelo menos a música é boa. As músicas desse jogo aqui são sensacionais, velho. A trilha sonora é muito boa. Duelos épicos, Sledge Kingdoms, remake. Cadê o Ladino? Nem isso tem, não. Você é você. É o Henry, você joga com a arma que você gostar, mano. Mas você não tem isso. Você na verdade é um filho de um ferreiro que a vila foi atacada, sua casa foi perdeu sua casa, mano, é isso aí. Perdeu sua casa, aí depois você descobre que na verdade você não era filho do ferreiro, você era filho do rei. Do rei não, do senhor lá de Scalice, né? O líder de Scalice. Tá, mas aí você tem a daga. Tem como fazer as furtividades também. Olha, spoiler, você acabou de ver eu conversando com um cara ali, chamando ele de pai, velho. Pelo amor de Deus. Gente, é isso então. Chegamos ao fim do jogo, jogo muito bom, estamos hypadíssimos pro próximo. E pra mim acabou aqui, tá, gente? Vou finalizar a live também.